Hey guys, it's Tina and I am back with a requested video for you guys, and that is for swatches and a review for the MAC Vamplify Lipglosses that debuted a few weeks ago, but it's still available, so you can still get your hands on these shades if you're interested. MAC Vamplify collection is a collection of 17 brand new lip glosses from them in their Vamplified formula, which is a new formula for them, as well as 12 Pro Longwear lip pencils. Not a new formula, but new shades for you to check out. And I believe I have 11 or 12 of these shades here, so I'm going to jump into the swatches right now and then we'll jump into the review. First up, we have the shade Anything But Demure, which is described as a mauvey nude. And it is definitely a mauvey nude. It is a perfect nude actually for my skin tone. So if you have my skin tone and you like lip gloss, this is a great nude for you. It needs a couple of layers to get full opacity, but remember, this is still a gloss, so you're not gonna get the pigmentation as you would in a liquid lipstick or a regular lipstick. It is still a gloss, but it has good pigmentation. And if you have darker lips, this actually works really well, and I love this shade. Next, we have the shade Tuned In, which is described as a mid-tone rosy nude. And this shade is another perfect nude for darker skin tones and tan skin tones. It is definitely a rosy nude shade. It is a touch darker than Anything But Demure, and it is a little bit more pink based. It's a beautiful shade. Again, you probably don't need both, but they're perfect nudes, so sometimes people like to have the variety of nudes in their collection, and I think these are great nude lip glosses. Then the third nude is the shade Hyper Fabulous, which is described as mauvey brown. And this one is more brown tone than the other ones and a little bit deeper as well. It is a beautiful deep shade. This one would be better for deeper skin tones. So if you were looking for a nude and you were deeper than I am, then this is a great nude as well. It is a bit purpley mauve, like a neutral tone, so it can come off, it can wash you out is what I'm saying, because it's not a completely warm nude. So if you're into those grayish tones, those grayish nudes that you've been seeing all over the place, I think this one, Hyper Fabulous, is a great one to grab. So here are the three nude shades lined up together. You can barely tell the difference between them. You have to swatch them to actually see the tonal differences. So I'll show you those three nude shades swatched together. The first one at the top is Hyper Fabulous, which is the deeper of the shades. And as you can see, it does have that mauvey, grayish undertone. The middle one here is Tuned In, which is the most caramel toned of the three. If you're into more of a peachy caramel nude, that one's the one to go for. And then at the bottom we have Anything But Demure, which is again one of those mauvey nudes, but it is lighter than the deeper shade here, Hyper Fabulous. So these are three nudes. You probably don't need all three unless you're a nude lover, but they're absolutely gorgeous and they have really good pigmentation. Next up we have the shade Little Miss Mischief, which is described as a bright warm pink. And when somebody describes a shade as being warm, imagine it having like peachy and yellowy undertones. This one is definitely a peachy pink. It's absolutely gorgeous. Again, great pigmentation for a gloss. It glides on really well. It's a bright color, so if you're not into bright pinks, this may not be for you. But if you do still like bright colors, but a more toned down, warm version, if you have yellow undertones or golden undertones like I do, this is actually a really fabulous shade. And because it is a gloss, it won't be overwhelming as like a liquid lipstick or a lipstick. Then we have the shade Everybody's Talking, which is described as an intense coral. And this one is a bright, intense coral. But again, I feel like it is a little bit subdued because it is a gloss. It won't hit you in the face as if you were wearing like a bright, matte coral lipstick. This one is more subdued and you can definitely tone it down. It is an intense orangey coral shade with, there's a lot of pink to it too, but it's mostly orange. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this shade. This one was perfect for summer, but if you're like me and you wear colors any time of the year, it doesn't matter. This is a great one, but if you're in warmer climates, I think this one is perfect. I'll go ahead and show you Little Miss Mischief next to Everybody's Talking. As you can see, Little Miss Mischief is definitely more pink, and this one is definitely more orange, so you can see the difference in the shade undertones there, so you can definitely differentiate between the two. Then we have more of a bright orange shade. This is Push Some Buttons, and this is described as an intense orange red shade. And for me, this one is definitely an orangey red. It's like a blood orange shade. It is still orange. You can see the orange to it, but it does have a lot of red, which makes it a little bit more subdued again. So if you like orange shades, like I like orange shades on myself, but intense orange can look a little bit too intense. It's just overwhelming. But this one I feel is more wearable because of the red undertones. So you can brighten up a red gloss with this, make it a little bit more warm toned, or you can just wear this on its own and tone it down for a nice pop of orange on your lips. I like this color again, nice pigmentation and really glossy. Next up we have a fun purple shade. This is the shade How Chic Is This, and it's described as a violet purple. And this is a very berry toned purple shade to me. It has a lot of blue to it, but it still comes off very berry. You can see the blue and the shimmery magenta. It's a gorgeous purple color. But it is not for the tame of heart. So if you're afraid of purple lips, this is probably not the one to go for, because it is bright, it's intense, it's in your face. But if you're a purple lover, this is gorgeous. And you can pair it with a magenta lipstick just to add a little bit more purple to it, but tone down the purple in this so it makes it more wearable. Again, it's a gorgeous shade. It has great pigmentation and there's a little bit of shimmer to it to make it really, really glossy. Next up, we have the shade What's Going On, which is described as a hot, intense fuchsia shade. This one is definitely more fuchsia, but it has kind of a purpley blue flash to it. It has that shimmer and sheen, so it's like a multi-tonal color. It's like a duochrome. It's really beautiful. If you love fuchsia shades, if you like hot pink, hot purpley pink shades, this one is a great one for you. I love this one, and in the tube you can see how fabulous it looks, and it actually applies to the lips this nicely. So this one is a fun shade. I think if you're into purpley pink lips, I think this one is a go. Here's How Chic Is This compared to What's Going On. You can see the difference in tones, and you can see now that What's Going On is definitely a purple shade. For the red shade, I got the shade Suggestive, which is described as an intense blue red. There is also another red called Tease Don't Touch, which is an intense true red. For me, I only needed one of the red shades, and I decided to go for the deeper looking one. And this one is a rich, vampy blood red shade. This is really beautiful. It is definitely blue tone, so it will make your teeth look rich and white. And it's a really pigmented gloss. If you're afraid of red lipsticks but you wanted to venture into that world, a gloss is really good. This one has great pigmentation, but again, you can kind of try to shear it down so it's not as intense. But it's a really beautiful red for the fall because it is a deeper, intense shade. Absolutely love this shade as well. Speaking of vampy shades, we have the shade Modern Drama. Again, there are two vampy shades in this lineup. There is Peer Pressure as well, which is described as an intense red burgundy, but this is Modern Drama, which is described as a dark plum. And I only needed one because I don't do vampy lips that often. Again, if you want to venture into vampy lips but you don't want to just commit to dark and intense, a gloss is a good way to go. And this one is a nice dark plum shade. It is like a blackened burgundy. I really love this shade as well, and you can mix it in with your red to darken up your red or to brighten up this shade. So if you're trying to like, oh, let me see, you're kind of timid, mix this shade and you'll get a really great shade. It is not that intense in pigmentation. It does give a more sheer color, but you can build it up. And I do think this is a really beautiful gloss as well. And then last up is the fun shade of the bunch, which is the shade She Rebel, which is perfectly named. And it is described as a dark blue purple. And it's gonna show up a little bit more, I think, blue on camera than it is. It is definitely a purple shade with a lot of blue to it. It does have shimmer and like a duochrome effect to it. It's so beautiful. It is a really gorgeous shade. If you're into like different shades, if you're into that kind of, oh, I'm a she rebel, I'm gonna mix it up and just go purple or go home, then this is your kind of shade. I like to mix it up, and believe it or not, you can use this shade and mix it with your red to give it a blue tone and darken it up. You can mix this shade so it's not just straight up blue purple. It's more of a red or a cranberry or burgundy. You can mix it in with your other shades to give them a little bit of oomph and tone this down as well. So I actually really like this color. So if you're into these kinds of shades, then this, I think, is a great gloss. Like, who does this. This is so pretty. So this is one of the fun colors that MAC threw in. Now that you've seen the swatches on the lips as well as just swatched on my arm, we'll go into the overall review and what I think about the collection. And MAC did debut this collection with lip pencils as well. So if you're interested in the lip pencils, I definitely recommend checking them out. I do like the Pro Longwear formula. I think it is a creamier formula than their normal lip pencils. So if you're into a creamier formula, that's definitely a line to check out. I do like those pencils, but I didn't pick any up because I have all the lip pencils I need. So for this formula, MAC says, be seduced by our most dramatic lip gloss yet, loaded with high power pigments that hugs lips in shades that glisten with a delicious shine. One swipe of Vamplify loads lips with attitude as a combination of lush, natural oils polish with impeccable moisturizing color. Never a tease, the glossy color wears comfortably for hours for a look that comes on strong and doesn't let go. Now these glosses are priced at $20 and they do contain 0.16 ounces of product, which might fool you into believing that that's a lot of product based on the packaging because it's a longer tube, but they contain about the same amount or a little bit less than a regular MAC lip glass. These are 0.17 ounces, so you're getting around the same amount of product, but you're getting it at a higher price. And across most brands, both mid-range and high-end brands, 0.16, 0.17, 0.15 is about the amount of product that you get in a tube. So these aren't exactly giving you more product for your money. So these are priced right along with Urban Decay and Too Faced and those different glosses. You can find cheaper glosses in the drugstore. NYX does really good glosses. You have Milani that does good glosses. So if you're okay with spending that much on a lip gloss, then I mean, go for it. So let's go ahead and talk about the packaging while we're at it. These come in long, slender lip gloss tubes with a black cap, and there is a little bit of a black rim at the top of the lip gloss tube itself, but these are see-through. You can see the actual color that you're getting, and on the bottom they do have a sticker that has the color name on it. It's a very small sticker, and some of these names are really long, so they're in very fine print on the bottom. So if you want to know the shade name, that's where you're gonna get it. And then on the clear tubes itself, it has the MAC logo and the name Vamplify for the lip glosses, so you can differentiate them from other lip glosses in your collection. Overall, I think this is great packaging. In fact, it reminds me of the kissable lip colors from MAC that debuted a couple of years ago. Same length packaging, and this one has a black band, as I mentioned, around the tube instead, and it does have the Vamplify in kind of an italic font. Similar packaging, but I feel like this plastic is a little bit more luxurious than this plastic. These do have like a glass sound to them. They're not glass, they're hard plastic, but they have like a more glass type sound to them when you click them together. And the applicator itself is a doe foot applicator, but it is a longer doe foot and it is tilted at an angle. So this, I found, actually applies the color really well. It covers more surface area of your lips, and it works out really well for it. Because it's thin, it works out at getting around the edges of your lips. So I actually really like the doe foot of this packaging. So that's all I have to say about that. Now let's go ahead and talk about the product and performance. Overall, I really like this formula. It is a lip gloss though, so if you're not a lip gloss fan, do not even look this way. These are not for you because they are a gloss. So they're gonna be shiny, they're gonna be glossy, they're gonna move around on your lips, and they can bleed outside your lip lines if you don't put a liner down. So if you have trouble with colors bleeding outside your lip line, then be mindful of that. You might need to put a lip liner down just to block the color from bleeding outside the lip lines. Also, these are not a sticky formula like the MAC lip glosses. You know, the lip glosses are notorious for being ultra sticky. They feel uncomfortable on the lips. They're really tacky and thick. These, I find, are a thinner formula. They apply really well. They coat the lips really well, but they're not a cream formula. Like, they still are a gloss, and they do have a little tack to them, like slight tack, that builds up over time. So as you wear them throughout the day, they do get a little bit more tacky, and that actually helps with longevity of the lip gloss. So they're gonna last longer the tackier they are. But these aren't super tacky where, oh my god, they're so uncomfortable, they stick to everything. These are still a comfortable formula to wear, and I actually really enjoy these as a gloss. These remind me a bit of the Anastasia lip glosses, which I really like that formula as well because they're not overly tacky, but these are creamier than those. They are not as sticky. Your hair will still stick to it if your hair blows onto your lips. It's just the nature of lip gloss. That is what it does. So don't think you're gonna get away from that. But these are a more comfortable, creamy, smooth formula. I really enjoy them. I love the pigmentation. I think the pigmentation is spot on. You can build it up or shear it out, but you're still gonna get good pigmentation without having to wear a full-on lipstick. These also layer well over other lip colors, but again, because they have such good pigmentation, they're gonna change the color of the lip color they go over. So just be mindful of that. But they add a great sheen to any lip color that you're wearing. I really love this formula and they're still available, so if you want to check them out and you're ready to splurge $20, which I think is a steep price point for glosses, then I recommend checking out the nude shades. They're really beautiful, they're perfect, and if you're into purples, you have some good purples to check out and a good red tone. Other than that, you can get cheaper glosses elsewhere. Do not break the bank on like indie colors. Go for colors that you know you're gonna get full use out of because it's $20. So I would definitely say pick out colors that you love. And that's it. Those are my overall thoughts of this formula. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, definitely hit the favorites and like button to show your support. And if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it. And I'll leave links below with a full list of the colors that I swatched, as well as where you can find these. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye.